Well, hi everybody. Hi everyone. This is Jacqueline T.D. Huynh, and welcome to my day 8. I think it's day 8. Yeah, it is my day 8 of my 30-day Facebook Live challenge. Today, I want to talk about how you can bring more resilience to your child, how to increase their self-esteem and their cognitive ability. Before I start, I want to introduce myself and tell you a little bit about me and why I'm doing this challenge. So again, my name is Jacqueline T.D. Huynh, and I am a huge advocate on leadership, and especially parents that are a great leader. I've spent a lot of time in training and interviewing and working with people, and I really see how it can really benefit when we look at ourselves as parent leaders instead of parent provider. That's why I created my 3-month program called Harmonious Family Blueprint, the 3-month program that will forever change your family. And I start at the foundation. I feel like everything, whether it's a business or a home, you have to have a stable foundation. That way, when the hard times hit, and we know there's going to be shaky times. Hi, Melinda. Oh my God. Melinda is my little sister from my sorority years at UC Irvine. So, my program is like my baby because it's through all my training and all the times that I've worked with my client to see that, we can't just talk about what the problem is and try to get a solution for the problem. We've got to also look at the foundation of where your family is. Do you know where your values lie? Do you have a mission of what you're doing? And do you have a vision of where you're going and why you're doing this? And are you all on the same page? Because if you are, it's the easiest thing to get your family member engaged. If you guys are all on the same page. And that's what the program is about, is creating that foundation and also instilling boundaries and balance and values to the family. So today I am going to talk about how to help increase your child's grade point average, self-esteem, cognitive ability, and resilient. So there's something I call circle time together. Other people have called it, eating together as a family. But I feel like a lot of times families come together and they're all on their electronics, or they're just sitting there in awkward silence, not knowing what to say. And then they just check that off as, oh, we ate together, done. But really, the whole purpose about coming together is getting to know each other better, talking. And I remember as a room mom, I volunteer a lot for my son and my daughter. And when they're in class, if you ever go to an elementary school, sit there and watch them have circle time. Watch how the teacher engages them in circle time. She asks them a question and they all answer the question together and they listen to it. And they'll sing. They are engaged, and I feel like that's what we're missing as parents, is that family time when we're together. And it's more about the survival and just meeting the daily needs and kind of trying to keep our head out of the water, and the day just seems like a blur. I don't know if it feels like that to you sometimes, but I feel like sometimes my day just whizzes by because we're running around and it's such a blur. But there's times like, I have a lot of friends who are like my family in Tahiti, and when I get a chance to go down there, it's such an amazing experience because like everything slows down. And my friends are actually French, and they have lived in Tahiti for decades. But the one thing that I love about the French and the Islander is that everything slows down when it comes to eating a meal. And I had the pleasure of being there 2 Christmases ago. and we had Christmas dinner with them, and we put out the appetizer, and everybody sat around laughing and talking, and the food was just really about something we did. It wasn't about why we were together, and it took us like probably 45 minutes to have appetizer. And then we all helped clear the dishes. We washed it, rinsed it, dried it, and sat around enjoying. And then it was like some more time. Hi, Michelle, I love you. And then they brought out the main course, and we sat there again, and Polly spent another hour just kind of slowly enjoying it and talking to each other and laughing. And then we got up, cleared the table, washed the dishes all together, laughing in the kitchen, and then we set up for another kind of small cheese and crackers and things like that. I mean, by the time we got to finish the dessert, it was like a 3-hour meal, and it was just everything happening really slowly, and everything we did from the eating to the clearing of the table to washing the dishes was about being together and laughing. And I can't remember a time where I really enjoy a meal and it wasn't just about shoveling food and, checking that off that, hey, we had a mealtime together. So let me tell you about what research shows about eating together and having conversation at least 5 times a week. It's the best defense against negative peer influences. It also lower rates of substance abuse, teen pregnancy, depression, obesity, eating disorder. It increases your child's grade point average, their self-esteem, their cognitive ability, their resilience, and it lowers the rate of substance abuse, teen pregnancy, depression, obesity, eating disorder. I mean, all this is just from, being together, having conversation, getting to know each other. And I know I do this with my kids, and what I find is your intuition comes even more alive, and you end up being more aware of the small nuances or changes or demeanor and behavior in your children. And you'll see, like, when they say, oh, everything's fine, you'll know if everything's really fine or not, because you have done having this conversation, having this meal together with your children, that you know when it's totally fine or maybe not fine. So this is the time, if you think about it, is nourishing your family, and you're creating a culture. And that's one thing that I believe in. We always hear about the Google culture, right? It's about having a way of living that your family has. And in my 3-month Harmonious program, we actually have a whole module about creating a culture, what it is, how you create it for your family. And it's going to provide so much pleasure and so much fun for your family to build on. So one way, how do you do this, right? How do you instill this? So you want to think about the kind of adults that you hope your children would be. So this is the vision. This is why it's so important. And then you work backwards by asking yourself, what can I do today to foster that kind of adult? Because we all love our children, and loving our children and wanting what's best for them long term, right? That's, as parents, we definitely do that. Even when it doesn't show, you are providing that solid groundwork that they know they can always come home to. We know when we were little, I remember our family was the one family that all the kids, neighborhood kids, always wanted to go to. They thought it was so much fun. And so you want to be that family where your children want to come home to. So quality family time means there's no electronic devices, right? We all know this at the table. Think of it as circle time. Have a question for everybody to answer. Think of it as a meeting, and there's an agenda. What do you want to have be successful at the end of the meeting? maybe just something simple like, that you guys are laughing and you come out of the meal with a higher level of energy. Whatever it is, think of it as a meeting with an agenda like you have at work. So, and think about it also as a time that you're feeding your family about all of the wealth of knowledge that you have acquired throughout the years. And people love stories. So tell stories to your children. I know it's much better for me, instead of trying to tell them, their values and principles of life and what they should be doing, I tell them stories of how it was growing up and what grandma did and what worked and what didn't work and things that I did after I left home. And it really kind of embeds in their head a lot more. So researchers have found that it's just 5 nights a week or 5 times a week that you do this, and these are the benefits that you will reap. And it doesn't have to be dinner. It could be breakfast. It could be picnics at the park together. It's really about a gathering. And that's what it means. It's a gathering. It's a time to get to know each other, to instill your thoughts and wisdom. And so to reiterate, think about what kind of adults that you hope your children will be. And then you want to work backwards from there and ask yourself, what can I do today to foster that? Right? Because we love our children and we want the best for them. And making this quality time, hi Sarah, and making this quality time for your child throughout, especially their tween and teen years. It's so important that you stay connected in this circle time during those years. And even when it doesn't show it, I can guarantee you that you are providing the solid ground that they know they can always come home to. And our children, especially in their teenage years, they're going to spread their wings, they're going to make mistakes. But if you instill these foundational things for them now, they'll come back. I have 4 younger sisters, and we had our issues with our parents, but I can tell you one thing about my parents, coming from an Asian culture, coming from a military family, is that they instilled values. I knew what our values were. I knew what our principles were. I knew what the foundation was. And even though my teenage years and my college years, I kind of spread my wings and I went out. But, by the time I had my family, I came back because I knew that was what is important. So create that ground, that solid ground for them, and you are going to build their resilience, their self-esteem, their cognitive ability. And it is, this is what research says, that it's the best defense against any kind of peer influences. And we can't prevent our children from negative things that happens to them outside. It's their learning. They need to learn from this. And the best thing that we can do is armor our children. Armor them with the best self-esteem, the best resilience that they can, so that when they go out there and they experience bullying, they experience trying drugs and alcohol and, going to these parties and maybe, boys for the first time, they're going to make the right decision because you as parents were there just for this circle time. They'll remember these circle times. They'll remember the stories that you tell them in these circle times, and it's going to stick in their mind, and they will come back. I know my sisters and I did, and there were some of us who went off the deep end, and we always came back. And I know that some of you probably have the same stories. So I encourage you to do this. Have these circle times, have a meal, and really, really get connected. So I really appreciate you guys taking the time and listening to me. What we've covered today is just one tiny part of one module. My program is a 3-month program. It's online, so you can be anywhere in the world. It has 10 modules, and so we go pretty in depth. We also have group live calls once a week, so that if you have any questions, you can ask me questions. We're going to do a lot of learnings. The whole goal is really to transform you and your family and give you tools and foundational principles and values that you can use for the rest of your life. So right now, we have an early bird special until the 20th. So email me at info@integrativeminds.com. It's in the show notes also. And we can talk for 30 to 40 minutes, and I can see where you're at in your family and see how this program can help you, if it's a fit for you, if you're ready for the program. It'll change your life. So the early bird special, if you sign up, it's normally $1,997, but the early bird price is $997. Plus, you also get a 1-hour one-on-one private session with me. So I like to leave you with the quote that I always love. It says, "Change can happen in an instant, but you have to take that chance and make that choice." It's the choice that takes so long for us to decide, right? You've had this. But as soon as you make that choice, the change will happen. So when you master choice, you master your destiny. So please contact me, email me at info@integrativeminds.com, and please share this video. I love for it to reach more people. Thank you very much, and I will see you tomorrow.